as for the first time in eNASCAR history, we say, let's go racing at Nashville. Side by side for the race lead into one. Keister tries to hang on top side, can't do it. Caution already wrecking behind your race leaders. And the 7, it looks like Malik Ray at the center of it all. Everybody's 2 by 2, but as they get off to 1, he's going to look to the inside. He's going to get underneath the Mullis, atop Salas, and then right there underneath him, the 95 of Kerwin got underneath the Duracell number 19 to Salas. The iRacing.com official pace car gets out of the way. The 5 gets on the gas. American Ethanol green flag, and we are underway from Texas. Off to COTA number 1 for the first time, up through the gears. Single filing out inside of the top 5 behind the 5.
Very quickly, everybody moving into a single file, just trying to get into a line, trying to get their way going through. And already one car has turned around. The yellow is going to be out before we even get the first lap down. That was the blue car of the 94 of Philip Diaz right in the middle of your field.
Diaz involved a couple of other drivers turned around. The 50 was a different story. Philip Diaz was running in 16th spot, and I think he had some help on the back bumper there, Andy, courtesy of the Onod forward to David Rattler. If he did get him, it was the slightest of contact, but he might have just got up on that bumper.
But here tonight, a qualifying effort, 37th, didn't even take a time. It's not going to be what that 57 needed to start off this week here at Texas Motor Speedway for him.
And you can see why they call it the Monster Mile. Already early on in this one, an accident involving about 7 or 8 drivers off of turn number 2. I think you're going to see a huge stack up as they get down into turn 1. Remember, a lot of these drivers at the back of the field did not pull a time. It looks like a little bit of contact between he and may have been the 12 of Garrett Maines as they got down in the first corner. Bias.
Yeah, just stack up.
To Austin, we say, let's go racing at COTA. Oh, and Bobby Zelensky turned in the very first corner of the race. They will pile in turn number 1. We knew, Tim, that corner was going to be a concern, and I saw a puff of smoke. Zelensky, the silver and red 83. I talked about the inside being open. Right there, the puff of smoke. Goncher locks it up. He doesn't go that deep into the corner, Tim, but he doesn't stay on the curbs, and that's how he gets into the 83 is Zelensky. And then look at everybody else just trying to find a way through.
And it looked like there was 3 or 4 cars trying to get into that hole. And look at this hole right here.
This iteration of the Phoenix Raceway here on the iRacing service. Of course, it's been a couple of years since we've raced here. Generally, that was on the older layout before the front stretch and the back stretch got flipped at a yellow flag early in this one.
So he will be up there competing for every position because he has plenty to race for. Here's the replay.
You see move for position. Oh, you see it right there. Just contact heading into
pace cars off and away, and Matt Busa is gone. American Ethanol green flag flies. We are underway from Las Vegas, and a big jump for that 34 team leaves a big fight behind for second.
That Toyota Camry absolutely storming as they roll on a corner number 3, or corner number 2, already heading towards corner number 3. Your first time, Corey Vincent, Marcus Richardson, Ray Alfala, and Ryan Michael Luza heading through as we already have our first caution.
Spinners on the back straightaway. Byron Daly around. Looks like the 06 Chevrolet wanted the draw of that started, and you could see just how tightly packed those guys were together in that battle for the second position. It's a very racy racetrack, especially right off of these restarts where these guys can get a little bit aggressive, and it looks like Mitchell Hunt.
Yeah, turn 2 could definitely be one of the trickier spots on this racetrack as well, too, Evan, and we saw it right there. Just starting to get a little loose on that top side and started spinning that thing around and nowhere.
In 2023, we say, let's go racing at Daytona.
No trouble in the back of the pack as 6 or 7 cars pile into turn 1. Donovan Strauss, as well as many others, piled up here in turn number 1. Michael Guest, Cody Bias, others involved. Strauss right behind Alan Bose. There's going to be a vicious checkup here on the bottom. And, I mean, it's pretty clear. Just Garrett Lowe was not able to see it happen in time. You can see the rest of the field piling in. And even heard a couple of, chatters over the radio.
Let's take a look at Parker White's perspective. He was on the outside. Remember, this all starts down low. There's the move to the middle of the racetrack. There's the checkup. He makes some contact with that Toyota in front of him and a little bit of help from behind. But I'll tell you what, that is a nice piece of driving by Parker White to network. As we say, let's go racing from Dover for round 6 of 2020.
Beautiful launch for Ray Alfalla to get himself clear into turn number 1. Many of these drivers expect to dive at the bottom. Already trouble in the middle of the pack. Caution's out.
It is an early caution flag, and it is a mess mid-pack down in turns 1 and 2. A lot of drivers scattering
here. What transpired to bring out our first caution flag on lap number 1, and we see the 36 on the outside, that mane and tail car of Chris Shearburn. He's racing with the number 1 to the inside. He goes around, Brian. Show him.
John Gorlinski, Thomas Hazard is second, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in third, Florian Goddard in fourth, Jason Anderson in fifth, Josh Parker in sixth, and they are off. There goes the green.
Gorlinski gets off to a huge start, and he's already got at least 2 or 3 car lengths over second place. That's Thomas Hazard as they work their way through 3 and 4 now.
Now watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. in third place. Be very patient here. He's he knows his way around this track probably better than anybody. And it looks like we have yellow.
Caution on the speedway.
I saw the we were watching the first 2, and I saw the Solstice pace car come darting out of the pits.
Bobby Zelensky's field to control as we say, let's go road racing at Watkins Glen. Zelensky clear through and spinning behind. There's trouble already for the Donnie 7 car. That's Logan clamping around as they head up through the S's, and Ray Alfalla involved as well. Wow. Alfalla needs a good points night, Alan. That is Ames was in some of that, but Alan, let's see what happened to Alfalla.
Yeah, here's this again, right after the first corner. Caught up, looks like in someone else's mess and just can't keep it straight. Seeing the live points, you wonder.
Stuck at the inside of 3 wide.
No man's land in the middle, going to lose at least 3 or 4 spots. Squeezes Maine won't let him in. Still stuck in the middle. Little indecision in the back. Now it looks like the momentum's in the middle.
Duval not happy over the radio with that one, asking if these guys are aware it's lap number 1, but I think his dive to the inside was equally as aggressive, and a spinner already. Michael Guest is around, so is Ray Alfalla. That came out of nowhere, Blake, but a caution. This was around 4th. You're going to see the 9 of Michael Guest try to blend in line, but look between the 55 and the 51. There's really not a car length of room there. And the 9 just tries to make it work, and Alfalla didn't cut him a break. Probably could have if he really wanted to, but again, at lap number 1, Steve, just there, right? Duval getting stuck at a line, and right there with the 9 car trying to get to the bottom. Is that where those incidents came from? As there's the look off of the back of Vicente, is that drivers were very aggressively trying to get to the bottom as soon as they could. And it is a long, long run without those chicanes, Blake, in turn number 1 as they head down to Curva Grande at speeds that'll top 180 miles an hour.
And they are 3 wide further back in the pack. They're almost leaning on each other as Mullis gets turned into turn number 1 to the outside of the sand. A couple more drivers go around at the back of the pack, but this is going to be the trouble spot. Show about this is a track that is very inviting to making aggressive moves. We're going to look at this one more time and look around. I believe it was Jimmy Mullis here. The trees are kind of cutting us off right there, but you see Dylan Duval is involved. The other Tony Kanaan Esports entry